All right, guys, so welcome to another video discussion. Today I have my friend Anna. She's a sustainability advocate, just like me, and she lives in Ireland. She's very much supportive of the things that we talk about on my channel, changing the structure of society, the socio-economic impacts of a new economic system, and also she's definitely an avid supporter of the Zeitgeist Movement. So in today's video, we're going to pretty much, it's a little introduction between me and her and discussing different topics, namely the Global Redesign Institute, which is a very important concept that has not been discussed enough among sustainability circles. So we're going to pretty much kind of like give a little introduction to that. She's going to pretty much break it down for us. And yeah, with that said, Anna, where you been? Where you been, Anna? You left, you used to live in Brooklyn. You're not in Brooklyn no more. You left, you bounced. I don't know. You got me thinking. What's going on with her? She left the damn place. She went to Ireland. What's she doing over there with them damn Irish? What you been up to?
I'm just looking for a good cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee, huh? You lost the accent a little bit. I can see you lost the accent.
Yeah.
Damn shame. You ain't a Brooklynite no more.
Nope. Looks like you can take the Brooklyn out of the person as well as take the person out of Brooklyn.
Yeah, perhaps. Seems like it.
You were saying about how we can make the world a better place through advocating and that kind of thing. And I think it's important to remember, my cat just made the cutest sound. It's like a little squeak. I think it's important to note that the majority of humankind are disenfranchised, and the power to affect far-reaching socio-economic change has been monopolized.
Absolutely. And that's why we're here to talk about different concepts, right? If we restructure our economic system, so like wealthy people say, well, what are you going to do? Oh, you're going to redistribute the wealth? We're like, no, actually just restructure the economy in a way that doesn't keep giving all the money to you people. You can keep whatever you have. Let's have an economic system that's actually just caters to human needs instead of just like having a free-for-all system where everybody just is anarchy. Anybody can grab a piece of the pie if they have the power to do so. So, with that said, I think, like we said, we're proposing a new economic model, and the Global Redesign Institute, which we're going to get into now, it is a very important concept for us to put out there to the public to understand that, oh, okay, if we had the technical means, right, if we have science and technology on our side and the resources to be able to design a new kind of system, right, from the ground up, how would that be done? So why don't you explain to us, what is the Global Redesign Institute?
First, I think it's important for me to address what you said. You said we have a situation of anarchy where anyone can take what they want, essentially, if they're ruthless enough. There is an element of truth to that, however. I think what's more accurate to say is at the moment we have a systemic oppression. We have a system of intrinsic oppression, wherein wealth and resource access is systematically funneled from the lower class to the upper class via the monetary system and the debt-based monetary system especially. And that's important to note. It's not just some mad chaos. There's a functionality to it, and it's dumb. It's incredibly dumb and selfish.
Yeah.
But it's not just
very well structured. I mean, I agree with you. It's very well structured, but it's structured in a way where
it's not just this crazy thing that's impossible to make sense of. There is a sense to it, even if the sense is nonsense.
So if we were to do things differently from our current capitalist, free market oriented practices, right? And just use science and purely use science and technology with the information that we have available to us in the 21st century. What things will we do different? What will we do differently? So explain that. Just break that down with the Global Redesign Institute. What is the Global Redesign Institute? Explain that.
Earth's economy how can we make this decentralized? And we came up with the idea of making a computer game, a simulation, wherein participants are called upon to redesign, waste disposal systems, product manufacturing, resource distribution, recycling, all of those systems. And then, of course, from economy arises culture. Economy is really the foundation of culture, and it therefore stands to reason that we have a false economy.
And the false culture that's gone from it.
False culture, we have nonsense and pain and suffering and all the rest of it.
It's very important for anyone who's watching this to realize that the structure of an economic system, the way it's designed to operate, has by far the greatest effect on people's behavior within that system. So hunter-gatherers who are like nomadic tribes moving around all the time, because of the fact that they behave that way economically, they hunt, they gather, they get their stuff together, they're egalitarian, they share it, then they move on to a new location. Same thing, and they move on to another location. So the concept of private property made no sense to them. And also they didn't have trade. It was a gift-giving economy. So when you have those concepts, economic concepts, and economic overlay has the most profound effect on people's behavior and the way they think and the way they operate within that system. So the Global Redesign Institute will be pretty much like, with a new economic system that's based on resource preservation, distribution in an intelligent manner, right? And a steady state economy that's not based on infinite growth. Well, okay, the Global Redesign Institute would be a systemic way of utilizing raw resources, extracting them, producing things, distributing them in a way that's actually intelligent, right?
Yeah. So what's important to note there, if I can just cut in, is the difference between extractive processes and regenerative processes. And what we would hopefully show through this game through this game would be the merit of regenerative processes in terms of the longevity of any system or population which is applying them. One thing that's important to mention with specific regard to the game of the Redesign Institute is that all saved work would then be sent via blockchain or something similar to the core servers, and then the most functional designs, the most efficient designs would then be custom coded into a continuously updated map of the planet or of the zone, because I'm thinking we're probably going to have to start small with this. Unless I get a huge grant and get to hire my huge interdisciplinary team, which we'll see about that. Either way, you have a continuously updated map of the zone. And then ultimately what we're hoping to achieve is a blueprint for the redesign of the global economy, which has been democratically created, which has not sacrificed efficiency for democracy, but has not sacrificed democracy for efficiency either. And Absolutely. That for me is the real beauty in this. That's what I'm most enthusiastic about.
Yeah, and you make a great point, because people often think, well, if we have a system that's based on like not allowing a person to have a 500-room mansion if they have the money to buy it, that's restricting people's freedom. Well, no. Well, that's the thing about it, If people can act intelligently and be responsible about the way they operate on a day-to-day basis, that actually can bring about the greater sense of freedom. The fact that you can have a sustainable planet, you don't run out of resources, you don't have tribalism, you don't have war. These things can actually be achieved without losing democracy, but they can only be achieved using technology properly. So that we have to have the right values, but the values are not going to be enough, right? We have to have the right kind of technology to obtain optimum efficiency, and that's the whole point. If you have economic efficiency, you save resources. You can actually get things to people, and you can actually recycle things properly, so you don't destroy things. You don't destroy the whole ecosystem trying to give people, I don't know, shoes or whatever. You do things properly. You do things efficiently. That's the whole point of it.
Yes. Yeah, two things though. So we have one, you'd want ideally the more foundational systems of the economy. So yeah, the resource manufacturing distribution, you'd want them to be as cybernated as possible. And with the technology which is currently available to us, that can be to a very high degree. And
Absolutely.
this greatly reduces the need for human labor, which again, we're talking about the economy giving rise to the culture. And what a wonderful culture, and at the very least, what an interesting and different culture we could have then. My imagination just goes wild with that. You mentioned about how it would restrict people's freedom. Now, you break the word freedom down, what you have is free domination, the ability, the space to impose your freeness on others. It would restrict people's freedom. But what it would also do would be facilitate the liberty of the individual and of the community.
Yeah.
Um, Free domination would be greatly reduced in this kind of culture, but I imagine that it would be a much more libertas culture. Libero, we say in Italian.
Yeah. They'll be liberated and also,
Liberated, that's the
yeah,
one. That's how we
liberated.
say it in
Also
English.
tolerance. I
How
think
we
it's
say it in
more
Brooklyn.
tolerance. People can tolerate each other, you know, be accepting of each other, coexist.
Hmm.
All those nice fluffy words, all those nice fluffy words that really don't mean a damn thing if you don't have the right plan to achieve them, right? I mean, how many times have I been, I'm sure you or myself, I've been to so many protests where people are saying, peace and love, guys, peace and love. I'm like, okay, if you don't have a plan on how to achieve peace and love, what do? You're just going to yell peace and love and everyone's going to be getting along with each other in a system that's based
Often,
on, right? Yeah, exactly. In a system
often,
that's,
yeah.
sorry.
Man can, no, I started interrupting you. Man can rarely love in the way that he intends to, right? Or,
Yeah.
you know, we humans can rarely love in the way that we intend to, and we can rarely be peaceful in the way that we intend to, because again, we don't have the foundations to be consistent with those kind of sentiments, which are very natural to us. You know, come up with studies recently about how empathy is actually the natural state of humans, at least the ones with functioning amygdalas who aren't, you know, don't
Yeah.
have the crossed wires and aren't psychopathic. And so we have this kind of this natural proclivity to be empathetic, and then all of the stress and distortion distorts that, and being alive becomes a very painful struggle.
Let's say every single person on the planet was like, you know what? I want to be loving. I want to be caring. I want to be tolerant to other people. Okay, you go to a job force the next day, you go to your job. The fact that you have to apply for a job in a society that's actually jobs are scarce themselves, in an economy that is based on labor for income, where the jobs, the really meaningful jobs, are actually statistically going away to machines. So you have to compete with each other for jobs that are not even that important, but you have to still compete for jobs. And you having a job means you're actually taking money and food away from another person. That through design, through very design of the way it's set up, creates inhuman consequences, because that means someone's going to be deprived. So it doesn't matter how loving I am. If I'm supporting of a system that's based on labor for income, where jobs are scarce and people have to compete with each other constantly, that creates by the very outcome an inhumane consequence. Yeah, and I don't know why my room keeps getting dark. My light's on. I don't know why. I'm like a vampire, like a freaking cave. The sun always goes down. It's like not bright whenever we're doing our videos. It's so ridiculous.
You know what you need? You know what you need?
What's up?
You need to get yourself a lamp.
I know I should get a lamp. It's coming
Mm-mm.
up though. The sun just literally came up as I started complaining. So thank you, sun. But we're gonna end it right here. Part 2 is coming up right after this, guys. All right.